In just a few moments, I'm going to show you what happens when you close your eyes. And you won't believe the way your brain comes to life, working overtime while you sleep. But first, let's start with a question. Why do we spend a third of our lives asleep? If you asked this question a century ago, the prevailing thought was, well, it's a mystery. Today we have a good answer. Sleep turns out to be one of the most fundamental processes in the human body, right alongside digestion or respiration. We simply must sleep to stay alive. In fact, if you keep a mammal awake, it'll die within a few weeks. Even fruit flies need sleep. Otherwise, their brains simply fry. In other words, something vital happens when you close your eyes. So here are the ins and outs of sleep explained in 4 minutes. Now we know that closing your eyes and drifting off into dreamland is really your brain entering different states of sleep, or sleep stages. These stages are what we call cyclic, which means they happen over and over again throughout the night. The time between each cycle is about 90 minutes, like clockwork. It's also called a sleep ultradian rhythm, where ultradian refers to the period being less than a day, making this the fastest biological rhythm in the body. Each cycle starts with a transition from wakefulness to NREM stage 1, or N1, a light sleep that lasts about 5 to 10 minutes. Your muscles relax, your heart rate slows, and your breathing becomes more regular. This is the stage when your mind is still wandering, and you might still be aware of what's going on around you. After 5 to 10 minutes, your brain waves slow down even more, and you drift into NREM stage 2, or N2, a slightly deeper sleep lasting about 10 to 25 minutes. This is when your muscles are fully relaxed, your eye movements stop, and your brain starts to perform essential maintenance functions. We'll get to what those are shortly. After another 10 to 25 minutes, you reach NREM stage 3, or N3, also known as slow wave sleep. This is the deepest part of the sleep cycle, lasting about 20 to 40 minutes, and it's crucial for restoring your body and mind. We'll cover its vital role later. Finally, after about 60 to 90 minutes total, and yes, it adds up, your brain enters the REM stage, which stands for rapid eye movement. This is the stage where dreams occur, and it lasts about 10 to 60 minutes. For a total of about 90 minutes, your brain goes from awake to N1 to N2 to N3 to REM, and then the whole cycle repeats again and again until morning. You can hear it in the music, but this rhythm isn't created by your brain alone. There are actually 2 interacting clocks that control your sleep. First, there's your internal biological clock, or circadian rhythm, which controls roughly 24-hour cycles in your sleep, metabolism, hormone release, and other bodily functions. The circadian rhythm is controlled by a small group of neurons located in the suprachiasmatic nucleus, DADA, or SCN, which receives input directly from your eyes via the optic chiasm. That's how it knows whether it's daytime or nighttime. Second, there's the sleep-wake homeostat, which keeps track of how long you've been awake and tells your brain when it's time to go to sleep. The longer you're awake, the stronger the signal to sleep. And once you fall asleep, the homeostat resets. In other words, these 2 clocks work together to tell your brain when to go to sleep and wake up. Now let's dig into each stage and see what happens when you close your eyes. First, the N2 spindle. Now, when you enter N2, your brain starts to form unique structures called sleep spindles. They reach transient bursts of high-amplitude brain activity that help prevent you from waking up and protect your sleep. Spindles are particularly important for learning and memory, helping you consolidate facts and skills you learned the previous day so that they're re-available when you need them. For example, research has shown that people who sleep with spindles score higher on memory tests than those who don't. Second, the K-complex. Also in N2, your brain forms another structure called the K-complex, which are high-amplitude, slow-frequency waves. They appear once every minute or so and last for half a second. Much like the spindles, K-complexes help protect your sleep, blocking the effects of external stimuli and preventing you from waking up. But they also play an additional role. Researchers think that K-complexes may help with memory too, by transferring information from the hippocampus to the cortex for long-term storage. Third, slow-wave sleep, or SWS. Once you hit N3, the deep slow-wave sleep stage, your brain starts firing only very slowly, hence the name. And this is where many vital functions take place. First, slow-wave sleep plays a critical role in restoring your body, allowing your muscles to repair themselves, synthesizing new proteins and releasing growth hormone. Second, slow-wave sleep is essential for restoring your mind, giving you a chance to process emotions and information from the previous day. And perhaps most important of all, slow-wave sleep appears to be crucial for restoring your immune system. Studies have found that people who get more slow-wave sleep have fewer sick days and infections. Overall, not getting enough slow-wave sleep impairs cognitive function, reaction times, and decision-making, whereas getting enough makes you smarter. Fourth, REM sleep. Finally, once your brain enters the REM stage, you'll start dreaming. But that's not all. REM sleep is also associated with heightened brain activity in areas that control emotions, creativity, and imagination. It's also linked to increased heart rate and rapid eye movements. As you dream, your brain processes emotions from the previous day and stores them in long-term memory. And perhaps most interestingly, REM sleep appears to be essential for maintaining mental health, with deficits linked to mood disorders such as depression. So this is what happens when you close your eyes. Your brain cleans, learns, and heals. But what if your brain isn't doing any of those things? Thanks to modern conveniences, that's more likely than ever. For instance, our indoor lights stay on all night, so our eyes never send a nighttime signal to our brain. Caffeine extends our alertness, delaying the homeostate's signal to sleep. And our social jet lag, the mismatch between our circadian rhythm and our work schedules, makes us stay up too late and wake up too early. Together, these factors make it hard to get quality sleep. For example, in a study published in 2015 in the journal Current Biology, researchers at Brigham and Women's in Boston used e-readers to measure the effects of nighttime screen exposure on sleep. Their results were pretty striking. Reading on an e-reader delayed melatonin release by 15 to 25 minutes compared to reading a paper book. And the next day, participants felt groggy and reported lower quality sleep. It's clear we have a sleep crisis today, but thankfully we also have the data to fix it. For example, in a study published in 2018 in the journal JAMA, researchers at Seattle Public Schools delayed the start times for high school students by 65 minutes, and the results were shocking. Students slept 34 more minutes per night, and their grades and attendance improved. But it gets better because now we can combine the best of modern science with the wisdom of our ancestors to create an ancient art of sleep. To learn more, check out the details below. Now for the big question. How does your brain turn off sleep loss and sleep debt? Here's what the science says. See, even if you're shortchanged on sleep for years, your brain has a trick up its sleeve to recover. In a 2022 study published in the journal Nature, neuroscientist Matthew Walker at UC Berkeley found that after just 1 week of sleeping well, the brain clears out all sleep debt and can return to normal functioning. So if you've been struggling to get quality sleep, don't worry. Things can turn around fast. In fact, we know exactly how to speed that recovery. We'll teach you how in the next chapter, which starts now. When it comes to sleep, it can feel like you're on your own, fighting against an uncaring universe. But remember, you're not alone. In the words of William Shakespeare, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. And if you want to unravel the secrets of sleep for yourself, comment below with what one habit you'll change tonight. We'll pin our favorites.